As you'd be aware, the agenda is about your 25 years journey, right? We'll discuss that. Then we'll also discuss about our new launches, which is the computer science program and your thoughts on that. Then we'll discuss about our academic programs like math, AP Calculus, English, math science, English, social science, right? And at the end of it, we can discuss about our Harvard pathway, which is our flagship course. And I'll walk them through our program P, right? That's the agenda. I hope you're okay with that.
Thank you, Anand. Thank you for remembering that my 25 years I'm teaching.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So let's start. Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Anand Naik. I'm the CEO co-founder of TechMentry. I'm Ahmedabad alumni. I've been into this field for the last 17 years, 7 years. I have been into education sector and I have started working with Jude Sir a year back. As such, right? I think I also happened to be his first batch of students, not exactly first batch, but first year of students, wherein he just started with his venture of Nibel Group as such. That time it was a Nibel Learning. I was his first batch when he was teaching me C, C++. Then he taught me Java data structures. I did my summer internship project with him, and he had been my mentor right throughout, right? And like me, there are thousands of more kids that he has taught, the engineering students, working professional, and school students. And here we have Jude Sir. Jude Sir, first of all, congratulations for completing your 25 solid years, right? I think you started back in 2001 and now we are in 2026. It has been a phenomenal journey. You already have your venture of Nibel Learning, then you start with Nibel Technologies, which is again doing very well, and now this baby Techmentary, right? So all to you, sir. How was your journey so far? If you would like to highlight anything about it.
Um, it's a very challenging. Initial phase was I had grown in a very fast pace. I've grown. As you know that okay, we started with your classmates, three people. Okay, right, Grishma, uh, Radhika, and Dairya. They were the first three students with whom I taught. And I think in 3 months we had 300 students. In 6 months I had 600 students have enrolled.
Correct.
So year on year I taught more than 1,500 to up to 2,000 students in a year. So the what I saw in this whole journey was in teaching. Okay, see, I always believe teaching is something. It is not the content, it is not the technology, but it is the environment, it is the atmosphere where you create. Okay, the so that will change. I think you remember that we are the first one 25 years before to introduce computers in the classroom, right?
Correct. 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 Correct.
Because I saw a practical knowledge is always you can always remember in our life, right? And
Mm-hmm.
we can always explore. We can see when I witness immediately. So then I can remember throughout my life. This is what most of my students today who all are in the US and Europe for bigger positions, they always say that what you taught still we remember. I think one of my student who had started a I think startup in the US right now. 2 days before I had a conversation. He
Oh,
says that
wow.
still
Wonderful.
today he remembers um, how I explained pointers to him. So
Wow.
the same thing he explains to his colleagues. Okay, so he was mentioning that. I think he learned from me probably around 20 years before. So the practical way of learning is always the best way to learn. That's the core agenda. I did do that, and it was quite successful there in the whole journey. Yeah. So this is
Yeah,
what.
I still remember the practical based journey which you mentioned, right? I think during that time, 2001, when most of the classes they used to be mass classes, right? In every batch there used to be 100 students. in your class you used to have like 15 to 20 students with computers, right? And it was a practical class back in 2001. That was quite different, and that's what attracted us to your classes, right? It was a practical kind of a project based kind of a learning. And the second most important point is the mentorship based learning, right? Every student had a one is to one connect with you. That rarely we see in these days, right? So, how have you taken that journey, which was when you started back in 2001, right, to 2006, with your new tech mentory model as such?
Okay. See, what I think initially when I started, I think we had 15 students. But later, I think I had 80 to 100 students in a class. Uh,
Correct, correct, correct.
I was able to give the same experience in the class which I given in the this one. In from since 2005 6 I started having 80 90 students in the class because I
Okay,
could
okay,
manage
okay,
the
okay.
crowd. But what is that the experience I have maintained it of practical where we every student could work in a computer and get the problem solved. So what I did was in 2018, 18, 19, after that, when we, I think during the COVID and all, early stage in the COVID, early stage of COVID, this, people were teaching online for a group of students, 50 students, 60 students and all. I did take that. But what I saw was I was not able to give that kind of experience to the children where I saw, okay, people are listening. I don't know whether they listen or don't listen. Half of their mic is muted, half of their video is muted. So I said, okay, boss,
Correct.
what are you trying to do? Then I did not believe this concept. So then I said, okay, let me go for one on one. Okay. Then
Okay.
I thought it's a one-on-one. It's not a scalable and profitable model or something where
Mhm.
we have a lot of revenue. No, we did not have it.
Correct,
What I saw was I was able to deliver what I want to deliver. So,
correct.
I think you must be knowing that the first student whom I taught in online, um, Atul Prabhu, right? So
Atul Prabhu, yeah, yeah.
he took a interview with him. So till today, that the child was able to till today they are in touch with us, right? Last 5 6 years, and he learned
Correct.
5 6 years, and the parents are in touch for everything. They contact us. So that is a one-to-one connection I built it. That's
Correct.
why, which I could never build in the classroom where 50 60 students, if I would have taught online, I could never build. Okay, it's one of them. So therefore, I never wanted to get into that model. So we always went to one on one, and we are quite. I think you are no, you have taken our 1 year before you saw the parents were witnessing how they have it transformed their the thought process, how it changed their way of thinking, studying, and so that's it. I wanted to keep tech mentors one-on-one learning. I have stopped taking the online group classes, which I stopped it. It's a very profitable model, but I don't believe in that because when I don't believe that, I need to be convinced of what I'm doing, right? That's the reason I did this exercise tech mentoring. We did, yeah. And what we did was, yeah, initially when the early stage we were taking some random courses, but I think last 3 years we have completely organized it. We created a Harvard certification. We give a practical applications. They build a lot of practical experiments. They do how to write. We are the first one to introduce in coding hardware. Okay, so even in Scratch, we are teaching Arduino, right? So why? Because I wanted them to understand practically what is programming is all about. It is not something okay, you come teach and go. No, that's the reason that all our courses are being like it is not Python as Python. We don't teach Python as a Python. Python with lot of applications, and then we have a Harvard certification that gave lot of confidence to students, right? So therefore, it is been designed with a whole journey is been designed from fifth grade or fourth grade, if we start, the child can go up to 12th grade, learn programming with different skills that they improve, and they did become very good engineers later in the later stage, okay, which I saw that with the good schools we saw where I think what Rajat Sandra, what is the name was the he become in 8th standard itself, he become a cloud architect, and
Yeah,
he
yeah.
got a
Ronnie, from United States. Yeah,
Ronnie side, right? Okay, so he got
grade eight. Yeah,
great, yeah, grade 8. Now I think he got an internship in some US university.
Columbia
Columbia
University. Yeah,
University,
Columbia.
right? Okay. So because that is a touch I want to build. Okay. So for me, teaching is a passion, not a business. Okay. So therefore, I want them to grow in the direction. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what it is.
I can completely relate to the one-to-one touch that you're talking about, right? I think just before this call, I was on a call with I was on a parent-teacher meet. So was one of the student, right? And I can really see that connect between the teacher and the kid, right? I think more than the parent and me, only the kid and teacher were talking, and the rapport that they had with each other, right? I think that kind of a mentorship is even seen today's day. I can relate because I have seen both the worlds. I have seen back in 2001 when you had that personal connect with each and every student of the class, and now I'm seeing the same thing in the online world, right? Wherein your teacher, the teachers whom you have handpicked and groomed, right? They have a similar kind of a connect with the student. So I can see whatever we used start back in 2001, it is still continuing in 2026.
Yeah, right. So, just to compare this, in those days, I have class till 11 p.m. But after 11 p.m., students used to come with their projects and we solved their doubts. We sat whole night in the office. So, they went home in the morning. So, the same thing today it's happening. You see here, students have completed the course, but still if they have a problem, they connect with us, they call us, it says, can you solve this problem, so we can able to sit and solve the problem, right? The same, I could see that connection. Okay, so that is what I wanted right now. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. See, exactly, na. This really, well, it relates to the call I had just hour back, right? As you mentioned that you used to stay back till late hours getting that Python or Java other problems solved. Today I had a call with a Scratch student, and there's a ma'am Ekta Snehi, right? They were working on a zombie project in Scratch, and they both were not able to click it, right? Figure out were not able to crack it. So that ma'am spent around 2 3 hours in the morning today, and she had like a wow feeling when she cracked it, and when she communicated that to the students, student had a wow feeling, right? So I can really connect what you're really trying to mention to all these learners and their parents.
And I agree with you. This my motto of teaching is this. Okay, don't give them a fish, but teach them how to fish. Okay, so this is my motto. I took it when when I start teaching. I never gave a solution to a problem. A lot of students used to ask me, "Sir, university, this question comes. My exam is this week. Next week, you are teaching something different." I said, "No, boss. I don't worry about what is your exam is. Exam is you have to prepare. I will only teach the concepts. I will only teach my flow only." Okay, so therefore we never focused on an exam oriented, we never focused on we never wanted them to get a easy solution to a problem. Rather, what we did, we made them to think, right? In those days, today the same thing that is happening. Okay, unfortunately today I met one teacher. Okay, she was telling today, the kids are getting ready answer to their problems. So in the class, when they come to the class, they are able to answer the question which is written in the book. Okay, but if they change the question slightly, and the student is not able to answer the question. So the reason for this is because the teachers are feeding the answers to them. They never explain to them what is the core concept behind it. But when there is a small twist happens, they are not able to do because they've not understood the concept. So therefore, the understanding the concept will help them to remember the things lifelong. It is rather than learning for only for that particular exam. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I completely agree with you, right? These days, I can relate to this what you're saying because these days when I get a call from parent, right, I generally ask them that why do you want to do with us, right? Tech mentoring. And these parents happen to be an ex-student, right? What they tell me is, I have been in Jude Sir class, right? I understand his way of style of teaching about the concept, not an exam oriented, right? It's more of a concept based, more of practical. And whatever I have learned, I want the same thing for my kid to learn, right? And hence I want to work with tech mentoring. I get calls from your ex-students, right? Back from US, Canada, working in Amazon, Google, right? Kids working who've gone to IIM Ahmedabad, right? Those your students visit here from visit here, right? Those your ex students keep on calling me back and say, I just happened to connect with one of your students based of Hong Kong, right? You remember Akash? We connected with
Ah,
him
right.
2 days back, right? He
Correct.
and his wife, I just connected with him, and I was just asking that, you are in Hong Kong. There's so many multiple options, right? Why do you want to get back to juice, na? That's the same answer they come up with, right? A more of a practical based approach, a more of a concept oriented approach rather than just exam based, right? So yes,
Yeah, correct,
uh,
correct.
yeah. So now
That is one of
moving
the
now,
reasons we were, I think back in those days also I never did any advertisement, nothing we did. Okay.
correct,
But same thing today, we have, I think we have survived last this the documentary, I think we started 5, 6 years before.
correct,
Still we survived without any advertisement or anything. Uh, mm, uh, Maybe 60 to 70% of my ex students who became parents and then they put their children with me, so they are now they are coming. Okay, the next generation I'm training them, right?
correct,
Yeah,
correct,
that's
correct,
quite
correct.
correct, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, sir, now moving to the programs that we are launching, right? Which is the academic computer science program, which is the AP computer science, or maybe it is a Cambridge computer science, IGCSE across different international boards, or maybe math program, right? How do you think that the academics has changed, right, from what we had way back during 2001 when you used to teach during engineering days till now? Because I used to learn this subject during my engineering days, right? C, C++, Java. But now in this high school itself, I think these subjects are there. So what are your thoughts on this?
See, uh, as the technology um, evolves, okay, na. So what taught in college has to be taught in schools now, because you cannot teach this anymore. Basic programming cannot be taught in the engineering college anymore. Okay, because if they do basic programming, they are going to slow down the growth of the children. Therefore, it has to come to the this for the schools. Okay, now coming back to this, when I saw, see. If they come to me for the in those days when they come to me for the first semester I used to teach C, right?
C,
Second
C,
semester
correct.
it's like C plus
C++,
plus.
yeah,
So if they don't come to the first and second semester to me, what I saw is those students when they come to me third semester, they did not have the base.
correct.
Okay. When they did not have a base, what my other children used to do in 10 minutes, these children cannot solve the problem in 30 minutes also,
30 minutes,
because
correct.
they did not have the base. Okay. So, therefore, what the schools are today is doing, they are teaching the basic concepts. So, the basic must be taught in this, so that in the advanced topics, when they go to an engineering college, when they go to medical, so what they can do, they can do it well in that time. Therefore, it's the parents should not think that okay, fine, it is it's okay, fine, it's programming only for this is over. My son or daughter will study in engineering. No, because if they fail to do the basics, and it's simple, it is same thing maths also, na. If your 12th standard maths is good, which I saw in engineering also, when the diploma students after 10th they do diploma, then they come to engineering, they don't have a maths background, right? They did not have a maths background, they used to struggle in maths in the second year. First year they skip, and the second year when they come, they what they used to struggle in maths. Most of them
Correct.
used to fail in maths, diploma students. And I saw the career also was slower pace than the other children who did engineering from the first year. Okay. Those who came from diploma whose career was slower than the other students who started from there. The same thing is going to happen here. Now the school they are introducing programming, and then if the children they don't do the basic programming in schools, when they come to colleges they are immediately going to get the advanced topics using the programming. So they are going to have a
Correct.
struggle. Okay, therefore I would highly advise parents to take this as a serious so that they become or learn the advanced subjects properly in the colleges. Okay, therefore they have to work now. I mean, you talked about AP computer science. Okay, that's a US based exam, right? Now in the US, it
Correct.
is
Correct.
not 5 6 years before we started giving them a lot of students who did AP computer science with us. Now, why did they do this? Okay, why in US they make that AP computer science a very mandatory? Because they wanted to ensure that the child has the basic concepts are clear, so that the universities when they go on a fast track. So if they
Correct.
fail in AP computer science, or they get lesser grade in AP computer science, they don't get admission in the universities. Remember that
Okay.
in the science, they don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, how AP computer science is the base subject. AP computer is nothing but Java. Okay, na Java or Python.
Correct.
Okay, na depends
Mm-hmm.
on the state they have. In some state they have in this one, what do you call it here? Java. Some states they have
Yeah.
Python. Some states have C++.
Correct.
But at the end, the concept is same. Okay, so they ensure that your basics are clear so that you go to universities with the advanced. Whereas in India, it is not like that. Okay, we don't have a AP computer science there. Okay, we do nothing of an exam. So here, what I see, I saw my own daughter there. They give list of statements to learn and come, and the exam is same thing comes, and then what they do, they clear that. But what has happened when it comes to engineering, they are struggling because they lost the base. Okay, na? Therefore, it is important that every child in India, especially India being going to be a more of a service hub for the whole world, the children must know, must learn the basics very clearly so that the advance, then the future, they are getting a proper job, and na, that is our aim is. Yeah.
And how do you ensure that, see, these days everybody is running behind the grades, right? So what is your advice? Like, shall they run beyond the grade for AP Computer Science or the other subjects? And how do you ensure that these kids build a good foundation during the early days of AP Computer Science, or maybe even Math, English, so that they'll be able to do well once they reach university or college? Right? What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, now I firmly believe this till today. I follow. Okay, in those days, in my I think I've taught 18 years for the engineering students, right?
Correct.
Not even 1 year, I given a gift or a trophy to some student who topped in the universities. All my these
Okay.
students have topped in universities, but never I did give them. But when I give them, I always tell them, okay, if you get a good job, you come, I will give you a gift. Okay, na? If you went to top companies, and till today I do this. When I go to US,
Mhm.
when I meet people working in Apple, Google, this, when
Mhm.
they come to me, sir, I'm working here, then I take them for a party. Okay,
Oh,
I
wow,
said this
wow.
is a goal you had achieved. So I don't because I don't want to make them as a bookworm. Okay, so which is I saw I do here also. I don't say okay fine you get university first. No, no. First you need to you achieved something. Now I'm very proud to say Ronnie, who's an eighth grade
Mhm.
student who cracked the cloud
AWS.
architect, right? So which
Yeah,
is it's I'm proud to see. You know.
correct.
I'm not worried you got first in the class. No, I'm not worried about it. But you have achieved something beyond your capacity, then I'm very happy.
Mhm.
Otherwise, I'm not. I said, I don't, okay. This everybody does this work. So therefore, uh, having you talked about grade. The grade is not the ultimate goal to achieve. Okay, it's a short term goal. Okay, but the
Correct.
long term is the child should have a solid base, and the child has grown and had startups. Okay, I've seen some of my students who did a very good startups and sold to $10 million, $20 million. They
Correct.
sold.
Correct.
Um, That's in India. Okay, in the US, when I go, some of them sold the startups for 40 50 million dollars, and they have in their account 40 50 million dollars. So which is like a, that is a achievement. Okay, now then very we are happy to see them. uh, that is, everybody should not worry about their grade. What they got is not right now, but we have to, as a parent, we need to ensure that the child has understood the basic concepts, so that we have set a right foundation to the child, and the foundation should be extended by, not by us, it is by the children. Okay, now it's a duty for a parent duty to give a good foundation. The rest is all the children has to take care. That is my, therefore I, grade is not a goal of ours. The understanding is the goal of our learning here. Yeah.
No, no, I very much relate and understand where you're coming from, right? Because I see my batchmates, right, working in top levels in companies like Google or Amazon or Microsoft, right, in United States, in Canada, Australia, Singapore, right? And even the kids recently whom we have taught in Techmentary, even those kids are getting into top universities.
Correct.
Recently, Siddhant Patel has just started his journey in Virginia Tech, which is one of the top United States school, right? You mentioned about Ronnie getting into Columbia University for his internship and getting into Ivy League. We have people getting into Singapore Nanyang Technology University, which is among the top 15 colleges in the entire world, right? It's the best college from Singapore, best college in Asia. We have people in Pennsylvania University, Wharton, right? So I really appreciate that you're mentioning that. Of course, grades are important, but you need to have that foundation strong so that you can scale up to the university level and then to the top companies. And of course, you mentioned about the startups, your students building your own startups and selling. I'm sure that within this segmentary also, we'll have few students who are coming up who will build their own startup, own ventures in the near future, right?
Yeah, we will
I know.
support. Yeah, it's a, even I told you about 2 3 days before. I told one of my students to start a startup in the US. He said, oh, "Sir, I need your help." We help him. Okay, we say, I have a lot of whatever that needed to push him ahead. So that is kind of support they will have a lifelong with us. Okay, therefore, if they wanted anything, the first thing they approach us, right? The same thing we will do for the techmentary students also who go abroad. Even I don't know whether the techmentary student or the student got a job in Boeing, right? So
Correct, correct.
he's
Yeah.
I don't know his name. He also, before his interview, he called us. He said, "Okay, sir, what to do?" We trained him for the interview, how to do that. So our support is lifelong. It is not only for the course or something. A lifelong support I want to give to them. Yeah.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. And you also have a group projects, right? You're discussing a group projects for your kids, which is a very good feature that you have. Also plan to give internship, right? And you have your another company. We have not discussed about that so far, right? We have focused on Nebel Learning, but you have Nebel Technologies, which is another baby of yours, right? So there is a good ecosystem which we have, wherein we can provide internship to few of our kids, right? Who can have that practical exposure. They can do group projects as such. So what is your thoughts behind Nebel Technology? Since we are discussing your entire journey for 25 years, I would also like you to talk about Nebel Technologies, your journey as well.
See, I think from your batch, there's a lot of students went abroad, right?
Correct.
So they went, when they went to US, what it is in 2008 onwards, they sent me a lot of projects to me. Sir, can you
Hmm.
solve this problem by this? So that made me to start a small company, which we have started in a small shop we started
Hmm.
in Andheri West,
Correct.
okay, Apna Bazaar.
Hmm.
We started with 4 5 students of mine. We started.
Hmm.
So that it's grown automatically. So what I this the this what is the seed? If you sow a good seed, you will get a good fruit, right? The
Correct.
same that we never had a strategy, marketing, sales strategy. All this we never went. We were on a
Correct.
organically we grew. Uh,
Hmm.
I'm proud to say that the first customer who came to us till today is a customer for me. I think that means approximately 20 years, right?
14 years. 20
14,
years.
2008 he joined. That means it's 20 18 years, right?
18 years.
18
Correct.
years he is there, same customer is with me. So the
Mm-hmm.
service we render to them is something that unmatchable. That's what we said. Okay, let's focus on the service rather than focusing on creating a strategy and
Correct.
extracting money from the customers. No, we don't want
Mm-hmm.
to do. We will give them a service and they will remain. So therefore, my sales cost is completely in this company. My sales cost is something is, I would say, it was zero till last
Almost negligible.
negligible, right? So that's the way I've grown, and we have grow with the first year. I think in 2008 our balance sheet was only 10 or 12 lakhs. I think we up to
Mm-hmm.
28, 30 crore we reached on the
Oh,
top line.
wow, wow.
We reached there.
Amazing,
So
amazing.
yeah, but now I think we are put more. We are coming out with more of a scaling up this business to a much bigger level.
Great, great.
Yeah, yeah.
And how have you built this ecosystem, right? I always, whenever I interact with you, talk about ecosystem, right? Enable technologies and enable learning, both helping each
So,
other. Like, so
what?
would you like to highlight something
Very
about
good.
that?
Very good. That's a good question. So, most of my students who studied with me, they joined in technology company. Okay, so around 60 to 70 percentage of there was a time that 60 to 70 percentage of my students were running the business. They were the one who worked in the they built the whole organization from CEO to the down level. Okay, so but what we did was once they finished engineering, we gave a solid training to them. So in the year 13, 14 and all till 13, 14, we used to do a lot of in-house training. 3 months they have a very rigorous training we used to give them. And they did when they come out initially during the training time they used to uh, trouble me. Okay, sir, what's at till 2 o'clock we have to work to. I said no, that's a way of learning. We learned, and when they came out, they realized that what we did was the thing right, and they learned a lot of things, and they were able to match the service of a fresher could work like a 3 to 4 years experienced person. Therefore, even today, my customers, if they say that they were ex Nibbler guys or they learned from me, they are very happy to take them in their payroll. So, because they know that they have been trained well. So therefore, I completely focus on training them in the right way. Yeah.
So now, sir, you have always been in a technology world, right? I have seen your journey from 2001 till now very closely. Now you're also launching some academic courses, right? Of course, you have been doing that for the last 2, 3 years, but now I think this year we discussed you are focusing on academic courses about math, e-calculus, AP calculus, right? For the US students, of course, for the other international boards as well. English, you are getting into some part of sciences. What's your, and of course, SAT training, right? Which is again an important thing to get into top US universities. So, what's your thought on this? Why is this step to get into academic world?
Okay. What is thought on this? Okay. So I don't know whether you know when I taught first year now, I taught about C program, right?
Correct.
So there was a student with me. She said, "Sir, next semester we have a. Her name is Kiran. Okay, so I'm till today I'm indebted to her, and I always. So in the first semester, and she came to me said, next semester I have a C plus plus. Can you teach? So I'm very basically saying I did not know. I was learning programming and teaching. Okay, I did not I'm not a I did not have any prior experience. So she used to get books for me from SP college. She used to give me the books, so you have to teach. So that's a way that from C++, the next semester she said, I you have to teach data structures. Then she gave me a book. She used to get from the library. She used to dump the books in my room and go. And the same way did data structure, then algorithms. So she was the one who pushed me to to take a subject till eighth semester. Okay, every semester she used to tell this you have to take. This is hard in the college. Nobody understands, and you have to teach. I said okay, that's the way I learned it. But people thought that I have already experience of 10 years in teaching. No, I did not have.
Mhm.
That's the first time I was teaching. Your batch was the first thing I learned and taught. Okay.
Correct, correct,
Now,
correct.
now comparing today, it is we started with programming, but then what happened is then the parents said that sir we don't want to go to maths to somewhere else. We don't want to go for science somewhere else. So can you? do this. So that's the reason I started teaching maths. Some of my ex students, I brought them. Some of my I know some of the professors in Bombay. Some of the it's college engineering professors. I requested them, can you please do that? But I know them, their credentials. They are very good teachers. So then we brought them to them, and then that we taught maths. We taught, and we are successfully we taught a lot of AP calculus, so many other US math subjects we taught. So then I thought, okay, let us go this in a separate vertical of teaching maths, science, chemistry. Okay, there is um, a lot of in the if you go to US curriculum, there are a lot of challenge in chemistry and all. Okay, so we taught chemistry, and the children have performed extremely well. So that's what we thought. Okay, let us go formally and launch this school curriculum, so that it is we create some kind of roadmap to the children to get into. It's not always technology is the only way to earn bread and butter in the future, but we have the other vertical now, biochemical.
Correct.
This one, a lot of other word streams are going to come up, right? So it's better we should focus on that. That's the reason we launched this school subjects.
Sure. And sir, what I also understand is you're also adding a combo kind of a thing to these certificates, right? For example, with AP Computer Science, I think you're also going, if any of the parents are interested, then also Harvard pathway, you would try and cover with them, right? A related Harvard pathway course, Harvard CS50, along with the AP Computer Science. Also prepare them for the USACO also, right? USAM Olympiad exams. If there is a slight, there's overlap, so they get best of both the worlds, right? They understand academics also. At the same time, they build their portfolio with having their Harvard certification and also competitive Olympiad examinations like USACO, right? Similar to math, also you'll train them in math, but also you'll prepare them to the SAT, right? SAT is a very scholastic aptitude test for getting into top colleges, right? So that is a very unique thing that I have seen as compared to the other education institutes which are teaching.
Okay, see now, as a parent, they always want an outcome. Okay, now, so the parents, they don't want to keep on spending money just for, okay, my child. But what is the evidence we have that the child has learned or not? Okay, therefore, what we did was, first is we made said, okay, whatever the course you are doing, you are going to get a certificate from Harvard. Correct. So first we mapped that. Now, the Harvard certification is not. It's good when they go to universities, but before the application go to the universities, they need AP score, they need USCO score. So therefore, what we did was we also connected to that. So we don't want to spend separately on that, but we want from the base we start, and we tell them, okay, fine, these are the things you need to do so that you get the certification done. So that helps them to go to the next level in their career. Therefore, we did this exercise. Okay, uh, it's not you either AP or USCO, whatever it is. That is not connected to your curriculum, but it is extracurricular. It's something that we need to go beyond it, right? Therefore, want to bring all this in one environment and take them to the next level. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean you're getting them giving them best of both the worlds, right? You're getting your
Correct.
grades to the AP Computer Science, you're understanding the academics. Then first, on top of that, you're getting a Harvard certification, right, from the top technology school in the world, and you also happen to be an alumni of Harvard Business School. I think we'll touch upon this point later in our discussion. And then still the US Olympiad examinations, right? Cracking that. I think, and of course, working on a GitHub profile, the projects. I think this is a deadly combination. If anybody goes through this grind, definitely he'll be able to make it to the top universities or top Ivy League colleges, right?
Yeah. Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
That's right.
Sure. So, sir, after this, any specific other points or other comments or other feedback you would like to give it to our parents, right? Who are really looking forward towards the journey of their children, right? They might be in the grade fifth, grade sixth, grade eighth, or maybe even in their high school or college days. What is your feedback or what is your guidance? to them?
How we have built a pathway for the programming from scratch. We take them to Python to algorithm, data structures. To those lab level we take. As a roadmap is built on the programming curriculum. The same way we are want to build for maths. Okay, now. So probably on from the second standard onwards, we start giving them, and with the aim of my aim is the child at the age of 15, 16, he or she should be able to solve the university maths problems. They should get into a research mode. So this is what we want to set for maths. Okay, so the maths curriculum we want to build the same way that we wanted to build curriculum for uh, I'm very somewhat I want to all children to learn music. Okay, now, so we want to give some of music. We want to build a music curriculum for them, where they go to the Trinity exam, those kind of things they do. uh, but we want to the children who are very passionate to do something, we want to do for them. Okay, so these are the three things we are working on it right now. Probably we may come into languages, okay, which is also a lot of parents ask me to build language pipeline for them, especially Spanish. And now I think people started asking Indian languages. The US parents ask me for Indian language to teach, Tamil to teach, Hindi to. So this also we might come out with this soon. Yeah, this is my roadmap for this tech mentor. Yeah.
For the next 20, so 25 years journey has been this for the next 25 years, this is what your journey would be. That's what
Yeah,
you're planning for.
correct,
Yeah.
correct.
Math, so we already have that. Math plus we do also train them the stat training, which is to get into top colleges. We are also looking for to getting them to top Olympic, cracking top Olympiad competitions or other competitions as such, right? But yeah, we can build. We've already started with the roadmap. We can streamline that further. A couple of more questions, right? How do you ensure you maintain the quality of your education, right? Because I think initially you were only one teacher, right? That time you can give the best quality. Now with a group of teachers, with scaling across different geographies, and I understand you have kids across US, Canada, Middle East, Singapore, New Zealand, right? So how do you maintain that quality? And you also thought of going ahead with a pay as you go model, right? So these two, just I wanted you to throw some light on.
Okay. Now, how do I maintain quality? See, I know you must be knowing today this most of our teachers are our ex-students. Okay.
Mhm.
So how I establish the quality there is because I know them how they learned it. I know them
Mhm.
how they performed it. Okay. That's one of the primary thing I do it. Okay. However, it is a some of them we take it from outside. Okay. But if they take a teacher from outside, I ensure that that teacher is being completely been tested by us. It is not something okay for anybody come. Anybody see everybody wants to be a teacher, but everybody does not have the teaching skill. Teaching is an art. Everybody cannot be an artist. Okay, only some of them have that capability. So that we identify. Okay, whether this particular person. Okay, the first thing I always check whether the person is passionate to teach. Passion is my
Correct.
first thing. If a person first talks about to me money, I don't even recruit them into my board,
Mhm.
because for teaching, money is a secondary. Primary is the passion to ensure the child is learning. Okay, if a teacher comes with the mindset of money, they will always be with that mindset of money. So therefore, I reject them. If a if a teacher talks about money, then I say no, I don't want to work with you. Money will come automatically. I saw money was coming automatically in my account without even I look search for it, because I was only
Wow.
delivering a good quality teaching to students. Okay, the same thing I want my teacher to do. Therefore, the first thing I see, what is their attitude towards teaching. Second is the skill of teaching. These two, I ensure that if they have this, then I recruit them on board. Otherwise, I don't recruit them on board. I say
Wonderful.
thank you so much. Yeah. Okay, that is one. Okay, why did I go for pay as go? You said right.
Pay as you go, yeah, because everybody goes for a subscription model.
Yeah.
Everybody has to pay fees upfront, right? As in, so why pay as you go?
Why pay as you go? Because I don't want to take a parent money and then the child discontinued and the parent chase me for money, send we refund, give me this. I don't want to do. Okay. So if you take 5 class, you pay for 5 class. If you take 3 class, pay for 3 class. Okay. Why? Because at the end, if the parent wants to stop it, you stop at any moment and then leave the place. Okay, now. So that it is, I don't want you to chase me and I give you. So we don't want to do that. That's the reason I make very clear basic because this is not a business I'm building uh, to become a billionaire. I'm sorry. Okay, now. So God has blessed me enough. Okay, so this is my passion. I want to do. Therefore, I don't want to take somebody's money in my account and keep it with me. That's why. That's why always I went for pay as you go. Yeah.
Correct. And I think even if it is the pay as you go, still you have these kids, right? They stay with you for like 3, 3, 4, 4, 5 years, right? That really shows your quality. Generally, we have seen that when it's a 3 year subscription, because of the subscription is there, forcefully people have to stick
People
around
stay, right?
with the course sponsor. Here they have an option, right? After the next class, you can drop off. Still,
Correct.
they
Correct.
stick around with you for 3 to 5 years. That
Yeah.
really means that they like the quality of the education.
Right. The quality should speak rather than you force them to. See, I force a child to sit for the class. If the child doesn't want to, what I do? The teacher also wasting the time, child also wasting the time. The parents make me to teach him because they paid the money. No, we don't want to. We don't want, don't stop. Stop it next day morning. So this is what we believe in that. Yeah.
Another question I want to understand about your Harvard pathway, right? What made you conceptualize? Like you also come from a Harvard Business School. You have recently done your leadership management business course from Harvard Business School, and now you start with the Harvard pathway. What is your thought process behind that?
Okay. So, see, first of all, the Harvard is gives a very different experience for you. Okay. Uh, when I went to Harvard to study for 1.5 year, I could see that the way they teach, the way they deliver is very unique. Okay, there's nowhere else I learned it. So, having said that, is it everybody can go to Harvard? It is not possible. Okay, but I want every child to have a Harvard stamp in their uh,
On
CV
the resume?
on the
Yeah.
resume. You know? Why do they? Because that gives lot of boost, lot of. So first I introduced for Scratch Harvard certification, right? So I saw the kids were so excited to get the certificate in their hand. So that makes them to become passionate to learn programming. They said, oh, okay, this, then next they went for Python. Then they did again one certification, Harvard certificate, CS50P they did. Then they went again CS50 AI. So the CS50 SQL. So it's become like a, they are very motivated because their resume is being built up. So what at the end of the day, the children went after 12th standard, they went to US to study. Some of them, they got very good university, and they were able to do work by themselves. So because the curriculum of Harvard gives you a holistic approach. It builds a logic for you. It builds your syntax style for you. It builds a confidence in how to submit your code in a how to create a Git account, how to push it, so how to create a CI/CD pipeline. So all this being taught by that whole thing. The holistic approach of
Wow.
programming is being taught. That's the reason I thought put all courses with us with a Harvard certification. Yeah.
Wow. And these days, I think all your syllabus are AI powered, right? So what I understand is you teach the core subject also, which is of course of the prime importance when 90-95% core subject is there. But you also start using AI tools to teach kids do it much faster, much better, right? What is the thought process behind introducing AI tools as well to the courses?
So, what is a since I'm running a technology company, um, what I saw was okay. So now, 5 6 years before, uh, if a code takes if a project to be done in a 5 months or 6 months. Okay, so today we can solve this project in 1 month. Okay, so these AI tools have come to help us to deliver it faster. Now, however, it is there, the child, if I tell the day one, okay, this is a AI tool, you do this, you'll get a solution, the child won't understand. If there is a modification which is made in the code, they can't understand. Therefore, what we did was in all our course, we AI powered we did. But in the first part of this, it's a self learning. Okay.
Correct.
The first part is we never introduce them to AI. But the second part, once I learn the basics well, then we say, okay, come, I will teach you these AI tools. So what you've done it before, maybe in 30 minutes, now you can do it in 5 minutes.
Um,
That we introduced. Therefore, all our courses we built, we powered with AI, but with caution. Okay, we have taken a lot of caution because our aim is the child has to understand. It is the child needs not deliver a project today. The child needs to understand a project so that it delivers tomorrow. Yeah. All our courses are with AI tools we have built with this, but it is not in the beginning. The first is the self learning. Yeah.
and so my next question would be, of course, you focus on Howard pathway, right? Howard certification, as you rightly mentioned, is one outcome, and of course, getting good grades is an outcome, or cracking USAC or other competitions is an outcome. Olympiad exam is Olympiad contest or examination or competition is an outcome. But also building live projects and building a GitHub profile is also an outcome, right? Which Techmentary focuses on. So, would you like to highlight on that aspect also of Techmentary?
Yeah, we do. What we do is we create a Git profile for every child from the day one, so that it is their profile is being seen. Today, when you go for an interview, the first the customers ask, give the Git profile of the candidate. Okay. Therefore, we want them to build the Git profile from the day one. Now, next is the what we do is uh, we connect now, since we have our students across the globe, we create a group of students who has the same mindset, and we form a team across the globe. They sit together and they build projects. We give them a mentors. So then what they do, they learn it because they learn different culture, different behaviors, okay, and different thought process. So therefore, 3 to 4 people from different countries to come together and form a executive project. This is a new thing we have introduced for this. So which helps them to grow, and this increase their Git profile has been completely what do you call it, become an attractive profile. That's the reason we did this exercise, and they do get motivated by that.
And parents do ask, right? These days, parents do ask that this is a one-is-to-one mentorship program, right? But how if they want to help their kid learn in a group environment? I think if they start learning in a group environment from this early age itself, the peer-to-peer knowledge transfer, the bonding, the teamwork, that would definitely help them when they go to their college days, the university days, or when they start working, right? Because at the end of the day, they have to work in teams. So I think this is a very good practice that I think Jude Sir you have started
Correct,
for
correct.
tech mentoring.
This is one of the things which I learned it in the US, the group way of learning. Okay, so that I wanted to put it for the students also. Yeah.
And also, what I understood is you also prepare a GitHub profile for all these students and a group projects for the students so that they can display it across, right? Whether it is to their
Correct,
relatives, to their friends, to the college admissions, university admissions,
correct,
or
correct, correct.
even to their future employers as such.
Right, right. I agree. Yeah, this is what we do. Correct. Yeah.
And this Guru Shishya model you've always been talking about, right? I think you've been talking about that since your 2001 days, where it's always Guru Shishya model. You talk about Gurukul. Right now, how does that model fits in this segmentary? Do you still follow Guru Shishya model in one is to
Yes,
one,
of course.
or is it more
That's a
transactional based?
one-on-one. One-on-one is we made it Gurushishya model, because in group it does not have. In online we can't build this. In offline, I can build Gurushishya model, any 80, 100 students also. But it is a problem is in online is not possible. That's the reason we put one-on-one. If you know this, we force the child to switch on the camera. We force the teacher to switch on the cameras. Why? Because there has to be a relationship should happen between both. A communication should happen. Therefore, I always ensure that they are oh, switch on the camera for the class. This is all the Guru Shishya model. Communicate with it, is create a group, chat with the teacher, and get it done. Your problem solved immediately. Okay, you don't need to wait somewhere. You need to look outside. You can always talk to your teacher immediately. The parents also aware what the teachers are doing. So this is a model we built it. Yeah.
And I think the reporting facilities you have is also very good, right? When you have a WhatsApp group, on that WhatsApp group, you yourself are present, right? And you yourself monitor those WhatsApp groups. The kid has any issue, the parent has any issue. Your technical coordinator or learning experience coordinator is there. The teacher is there, right? In the one WhatsApp group. When the monitoring is very, very close, and you have parent teacher meeting once in a 2 months, right? Regularly, when you interact, probably sometimes I interact, teachers interact, right? So that mechanism is also very robust, which really helps to
Yep.
bring in the discipline for the student, discipline for the teacher, and of course, parent is able to leverage the best out of the course for their child.
Right. I agree with you. That is what we want to do. We want to build a Guru Shishya model. We don't want them to, we don't want to produce mass. We want to produce children with a good quality. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
thanks, sir. I think this has been a robust 25 years, right? I think you have scaled heights, and you have grown right across, right? I'm sure there will be a ups and downs during this 25 years. Everybody goes through this, but has been a phenomenal journey for you, right? Starting with enable learning first, then getting into enable technologies, then getting into online education space, and still growing further. So what is your thoughts on this? A parting comment, and what is your thought for the next 25 years, right? Where do you want to go from here? What are your thoughts?
See, my parting uh, words are this my first word I always say, give your children, don't give them fish, but teach them how to fish. This is my the first motto which I repeat again. Okay, for every parent should build the foundation to the child. The foundation should be strong. That once it is strong, the rest all will happen automatically. So this is my last message to the parents.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And all the best, sir, for your next 25 years. I'm sure, I think you will build some global brand as such, and even you'll build the students, right? Currently, your students are already there in the Silicon Valley. They build their own startup. They're into Ivy League. I'm sure. I think the next generation of students are ready for you. And I think with your team working on them, they'll also scale heights as such. And of course, the enable technologies, the ecosystem you have built, you'll work on multiple projects, right? And in the world of AI, agentic AI, and even more advanced technologies.
Hmm.
Thanks, sir, for your valuable time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With your due permission, sir, I think you have a busy schedule. If you want to move ahead, please do move ahead. I'll just walk them through our the new programs to some of our guests so that they can just have an understanding of what programs we have launched. That is in IP Computer Science, Howard Pathway, and Math.
Yeah, you can go ahead. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Feel free, sir. If you want to stay back, you can. Otherwise, I think with your busy schedule, you can move on. Karthik, do we have 5 minutes? I'll quickly walk through the courses which we have with your due permission.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, let me just share my screen. Yeah. Uh, yeah, so these are some of our programs. I'll start with our flagship program, which is AI-powered coding and technology programs for kids and teens, age 7 to 18. As Jude Sir rightly pointed out, we focus on one-is-to-one mentorship, Guru Shishya model, Howard Pathway, which is the global standards, pay as you go. We focus on AI-powered curriculum, and we focus on kids, right, age group of 7 to 18. And our motto is getting Ivy League ready and Silicon Valley bound, right? So that is our motto. I don't have time to walk through the entire thing, but I'll just show you the courses which we have. We start with the scratch for a kid in the age group of a grade 3, grade 4. Then we move on to Python, grade 5, 6. If he's not ready for it, we do Roblox and PictoBlocks for him. Then we move more towards advanced courses like web development in a grade 7, 7, 8, and then 9, 10, 11, 12. We work on data science, machine learning, AI, computer science foundation, database systems, right? And if you're interested in cybersecurity, we go ahead with that. So that is a Howard Pathway program for you. Recently, we have launched, as Jude Sir rightly pointed out, recently we have launched AP Computer Science and Computer Science. So we are getting into academic, we are getting in the academic space. It's not that we were not there before, but the overwhelming success which we had in the Howard pathway, we also want to build a similar kind of model in academic computer science, Java and Python. Our motto is not only getting top grades. Of course, grades are important, and we need to protect our CGPA for getting into top university. But we need to get into top university ready as well. And these syllabus are also AI powered syllabus, right? So initial part is of course the core subject, but in the world of AI, we also introduce AI. We also introduce AI tools, so that the kids will be able to do it much faster. The productivity increases. And these are some of the syllabus courses, right? We do AP Computer Science for US, Canada. We do Cambridge IGCSE Board Computer Science, IB Computer Science. And good thing about this is, along with this, we also have an optional USACO preparation, right? To prepare for the Olympiad examination, top competitions, and of course, getting a Harvard certification. So this is a really a deadly combination, getting good grades, top university, cracking AP Computer Science, plus getting a Harvard certification and a USACO preparation. And apart from that, the courses which we have, I would like to highlight those. So we have AP Computer Science and Principles. We have Cambridge. We have other international. We have international baccalaureate board, and also we have Java Python as well, right? Which is the core of all these academic computer sciences. And we have a proper pathway, right? From a grade 5th, 6th, you start with a basic academic computer science on computational thinking and logic. Then you move more towards a programming foundation with Python. Then you move toward advanced computer science foundation on data structures, algorithm, data representation. Then you accelerate your programming, right? In grade 8 and grade 9, you move towards advanced programming, algorithmic and data structures, right? More academic projects as such. Grade 9, 10, you move towards Java, right, which is the which is the key languages for software development, and Python for AI machine learning. So you keep on advancing, and the courses becomes much more tougher. And grade 10, 11, of course, it is the advanced programming and software. And then we start in 11, 12, we start building a pre-university computer science scholar, right? And then we move to the AI foundation world. So we cover the core academic courses, but we build the students for the future, right? So that's how our courses are there. So that is about our second flagship program, not flagship, but second most important programs which we have is the academic computer science in Java and Python. And lastly, last but not the least is the math. That's what Judo sir was saying. Math, we already have few students, but now we are focusing on this with the pool of teachers which we have. So math again, we have the US courses of algebra, geometry, calculus, AP statistics, and of course we have Cambridge and International Board. Uh, and yeah, these are the flow of the courses. We build you for the school exams, and we build you for through our one-to-one mentorship. And we don't focus on memorizing, right? We focus on reasoning. Uh, and these are the courses, right? We start with math foundation in grade 5, grade 6. Then we move to early algebra in grade 6, grade 7, along with arithmetic. We move more then towards a pre-algebra and logic mastery, that is pre-algebra, algebra 1. Then moving towards algebra and geometry in grade 8, grade 9. Uh, and then we gradually start building SAT, right? From grade 9, grade 10, we start building SAT, advanced algebra, and SAT mastery. Parents who are more keen and kids who are more into, we start building SAT training right from the beginning. So along with teaching math, we also start building them for SAT so that they can get into top technology or non-technology school as such. Then we move on to pre-calculus and calculus, AP calculus, and then advanced mathematics and STEM foundation, right? So that's how the flow is there. So these are our subjects. Apart from this, we also teach other academic subjects like English, social studies, science, physics, chemistry, biology. Yeah. So that's it from my side. I think that's how the flow and that's how the courses we do have. Yeah. Any questions? More than happy to take it now. I think we have a couple of candidates, right? Nicole Castillo. Any question or Karthik? You have any questions? More than happy to answer.
No questions, sir. Just me.
Thanks, kids. I think it was and parents. It was very interesting interacting with you. Again, myself, Anand Naik, CEO co-founder TechMentry. I am Ahmedabad alumni. We have some very good products and services with us. Harvard Pathway being our flagship course, with Harvard certification as a global standards. We believe in AI-powered course wherein 85-90% is core course and 10-15% we use AI tools. We go pay as you we do not have any subscription as such. We go for pay as you go. You can pay on an hourly basis, a flexible payment that we have. And we believe in Gurushishya model, right? We do not believe in transactional teaching. So if this interests you, I think more than happy to connect with you. Have a nice day. Thanks. Thanks, Karthik, for your valuable time. Thanks, Jude sir. It was wonderful interacting with you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye.